I love working with the clients, making a big difference in their lives at the moment. And so I decided in 2017 to finally do it. And I really just channeled my 2006 Laurel. That's how I created the program, was just based on what I wish I had and what I know realtors need. Right now, our acceptance rate is about 15% of all applicants. There's a legal definition of an expert. As you know, Bill, they talk about experts. And so you need to, pass the muster to qualify as an expert.
This is something worth looking at if you're looking for some more complete answers to how do I be better, not just get more business. Hey, it's Bill Gross, the LA probate expert, and I've come across numerous colleagues of mine in the business who are probate or successful realtors who got involved in divorce real estate. Now, I do know of a popular vendor who promotes buying data and cold calling. That just seems so wrong to me, knowing attorneys as I do, knowing families going through divorce. My father was a divorce attorney, actually. And I noticed that a couple of my colleagues had gone through a particular program called the CDRE program from the Alumni Institute. And I'd spoken before, about a year ago, I think, to Laurel Starks, who's the founder of it. And I asked her for some time to come on today to explain a little bit about the Institute in general and about the program. Laurel, thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for having me, always.
Now, geographically, you're based in the Inland Empire of Southern California, correct?
That is correct.
And I think this is the thing that kind of makes me attracted to you business-wise is you're also a practitioner. You still list property. You work in divorce courts getting listings on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In the trenches.
I think one of the things that really bugs me about coaches and vendors who sell these great programs is you always think, well, if it works so well, why aren't you doing it? In your case, you are doing it. Explain to me why you still are and how that factors into the way you design your program.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know what? Being a court-appointed divorce listing agent, it's my firstborn. It's my first love. I absolutely love the practice of it. I've built an incredible network of attorneys that I serve here. And I love working with the clients, making a big difference in their lives at the moment. And I love what I do. And so I certainly I'm fortunate that I've built two businesses that allow me to kind of do both. And I feel that it does. The byproduct of that is that it does keep me relevant in the teaching and the coaching and the supportive space as I'm helping other agents get their divorce real estate businesses off the ground over the country.
Well, I'm sure you're like me that you listen to coaches and teachers and whatever. You go to company seminars and you listen, and they'll tell you things you should do. You think, well, that's never going to work. And it's not that I'm stupid. It's not that I'm lazy. It's that they're maybe teaching what worked for them in 1990, and you're on the phone talking to attorneys today and last week and last month. And so I think that's what really makes it relevant. How does that then factor into the way you've created or update your CDRE program?
Yeah, good question. So for all the years, I mean, from the time I was licensed in 2005, and from my second listing, I've always done this work. So it's pretty much all I've done. I've done it this whole time. There was a stint when I built a sales team, and I decided I didn't like that. So I blew it up, but I never abandoned doing the divorce real estate stuff. So I then in 2017, 28, addressing the need throughout our industry to teach and equip agents with the tools to handle the listings, as well as to, get business from divorce, be that resource for divorce attorneys in a B2B format. So I've just been hit up for years, agents that learn about me, and, they'll DM me on Facebook, they'll call me, whatever, and they'll just be like, I want to do this. I have a few questions for you. I mean, you do probate, to get into the space, it requires more than just a 30-minute phone call. You've got to really know what you're doing and whatnot. So I knew that there was a demand for teaching. And so I decided in 2017 to finally do it. And I really just channeled my 2006 Laurel and said, if I take a if I just go back mentally in time, what do I wish that I had? Now that I have the benefit of the knowledge, what do I wish I had then? And I just dumped it all onto like a Google Doc, and I just and it went on. It was a lot that I wish I had. And so I that's how I created the program, was just based on what I wish I had and what I know realtors need.
And I think, again, the thing I've noticed is in talking to my friends who are in your program, the vast majority is about how to be a more productive agent to attorneys and families, and very little about the marketing tricks. Like, it seems to me, when somebody starts talking about cold calling and you can buy this list and call for 3 hours a day, there's a reason why you should have to do that more than 6 months or a year. It means you're not creating a positive feedback that people come to you with problems to solve the problems. And you're really teaching agents how to find their way to making themselves more valuable. Can you share maybe one or two of those tactics that you teach?
Yeah. So, what you're talking about is agents are very used to doing B2C business building, business to consumer. So, marketing, scripting, calling, door knocking, whatever, business to consumer is what agents do. So that's their mindset. Makes sense, right? So if I want to get into doing divorce real estate, why don't I just pull a list of recent filings and then I just outbound to those consumers? And so I understand that that's the goal of the realtor, and that's their mindset. There are two reasons why it's a bad idea. So reason number one why it's a bad idea is because in a divorce case, it is not a unilateral decision as to who the listing agent's going to be. So let's say you outbound to, the husband, and the husband, maybe he thinks that you're all that. And he says, great, I would love for you to list my house. I'm going to propose your name to my wife, or soon to be ex-wife,
That I'm getting divorced with, and
that
we
I'm
can't agree
getting
on
divorced
anything.
with, that hates my guts more than anybody on the face of the earth. So
She'll
how do you think that's going to go over? Right. So sometimes just you are guilty by association. And so your name is out. So it's not effective in that, kind of for that reason, number one. But number two, when it comes to building a business, it makes a lot of sense to build a business on a B2B level with other professionals who have a need and will have a constant need so long as they're in business, to send you business. So this way, I only have to take care of a handful of family law attorneys in order to have like a replicatable business model, versus me having to wake up at 6 a.m. and be that first person that's going to pound the phones and outbound to expireds, or I've got to be tethered to my phone and I've got to respond to online leads within the first 60 seconds. It's a very different business model, and it provides a lot more freedom. But like I said, more effective, more importantly, it's the effective way to do things,
Right.
because you start outbounding B2C and, refer to the first reason I said that it doesn't work.
Well, and also when you have a B2B, not only are you marketing to people who have regular referrals, but they need good partners,
Yeah.
because the better you are, the more effective they are, right? In probate, if I help them avoid continuances and problems on the petitions, then they get happier customers, get paid faster and more, versus the average realtor who just is average, right, by definition. So it makes a lot of sense. So, look, I know you could talk about this for days. I could talk about this for days. I know that on your website we have contact information. You can schedule a call. You can get into the website. Can you give me just kind of a high level overview of what the CDRE program looks like, and I guess there's different levels in your directory based on one's participation. Is that something you're able to discuss?
Yeah, sure. So So what we're looking for is we've got first and foremost, it
Well, hold on one
is
second. For those who don't know, she said something there that I don't know that you even appreciate. What we're looking for is that most companies who sell marketing will sell to any idiot realtor the database and tell you to cold call the same people you're going to cold call. And they don't do that. So when you say what you're looking for, before I go further, I should have asked this question. What does that mean to you? What we're looking for? Because that sounds odd. Are you selling your program to whoever wants to buy it?
we're actually not selling a program to anybody that wants to buy it. We right now our acceptance rate is about 15% of all applicants.
Now, hold on for a second now. I heard that before. I want you to repeat that. Explain what that means. Because I think that's a big selling point that you can run through it. If you don't pay attention, you're going to miss or it's undersold. You 50% people apply are in your program. What do the other 85% do? They're nice people and you tell them get better or get your realigned and apply again. I mean, what does that look like?
Yeah, so just, bare bones, we have three immediate requirements just to kind of get to first base. So number one is that you have an active real estate license and you're a member of NAR. Number two is that you have been licensed for at least 3 years. And number three is that you have done a total of 45 units within the last 5 years. So you need to be a producing agent and someone who has enough experience to be able to say you're at least a master of real estate. Then we have from that point, then we are checking to make sure that we are even a cultural alignment because we do have a code of ethics that we uphold. And if we have someone who is not in alignment with our code of ethics, then then there's not going to be a fit. We also limit how many CDREs we put into a market. We don't want to flood a market and we just become sort of this overrun system where attorneys are really put off. We need to make sure that our attorneys are being served, but again, so we get a lot of applicants that we've got a lot of territories that are on wait lists. So those tend to be, and then we have 2 interviews that are all of our applicants go through. We also have letters of recommendation, resume. We have some essay questions and that sort of thing. Then once you're accepted into the program, and we start a new class every month. Once you're accepted into the program, it's 12 weeks to obtain your certification. You will be assigned an advisor who will help kind of shepherd you through the program. And we have each week, we have a course and we have an office hours that you attend. And then we have testing at the end of the week. At the end of the 12 weeks, then there's the final exam, and it is half of it's written and half of it is oral. And the oral is on Zoom. And it's actually a mock testimony you give to one of our faculty attorneys. So it's like they put you on the stand, you swear in. And so you need to pass that. So when we say certified divorce real estate expert, we literally mean a certified divorce real estate expert. We use the term expert like the legal field does. Here in real estate, we use it as a marketing term. But in the legal world, there's a legal definition of an expert, as you know, Bill. They talk about experts, and so you need to, pass the muster to qualify as an expert.
Right.
So that's our program. So once you graduate, then some of our students are invited to belong to what's called our master club. And our master club, that's why you see on our website, you see associate. Those are the CDREs that have passed the class, and then they've maintained their annual continuing education. And then we have our master club, and the master club folks are the ones that are within our community. We have a very, very vibrant community where we help support all of your business development with lawyers. We certify you to teach continuing legal education, host lunch and learns. We have listing support. We have calls weekly, case studies. I mean, it's extremely, a very dense and a vibrant community. It's great for agents. Many, being a solo agent it can be very lonely. And so many of our agents just love being able to plug into a community of like-minded individuals. Again, that's what I wish I had. I was
Yeah.
out there by myself.
Yeah.
And so we become a very, very vibrant community, and it's incredible to see what our CDREs are doing out there in their own communities, educating their lawyers, getting divorce listings. We've got courts now that are demanding that if they're going to appoint an agent, it's a CDRE.
Yeah.
So it's just been a really impressive group of people to be involved with. I'm humbled every day by my CDRs.
I've been around a while. When I looked at your directory, I recognized, I think, 5 or 6 people, all of them, all 5 or 6, I would say I have great respect for. May or may not have the same personality type or style, but all of them are pros. They're all full time. They all work hard. I feel very comfortable being in transaction with them. And so I saw the standard that you set. And the more I asked questions about it, the more impressed I was. I think I was looking for something like this in the probate field, and there really isn't.
Yeah.
And I think one of the probate companies is selling the data, which is the exact opposite of what this is all about. And so,
Mhm.
personally, I'm very busy and doing well in my probate business, but for anybody who is interested in specializing in divorce, and I imagine that the agents in your system, like anybody else, end up specializing in divorce, but that will then overflow to other business and evaluation issue. I mean, I do probate business, I end up getting some bankruptcy stuff and some creditor terms, some civil litigation stuff, just because it's the same attorney or the same firm or the firm. So imagine your agents have that same experience where there's some overflow or some glow as a result of their participation with you.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, just like you said, you've got a lot of attorneys that do crossover work.
Yeah.
They do I've got family law attorneys that do a little bit of probate. I've got family law attorneys that are, like you said, they're in practice with civil litigators, do partition actions
Mm.
and
Yep.
all of those sorts of things. And so it does,
Evictions.
yep,
Yeah.
it does cross over. And then, you're also recognized as a realtor. And so you also sometimes will have, I've had paralegals in an office, or I've had, attorneys who have needed their own, their own transactions, or maybe they have referred me because their daughter or their, friend or whoever. There is sort of the ancillary business that comes from the business. You're absolutely right.
And I can say honestly, I looked into this also as maybe kind of some adjunct, because I do get some adjunct family law and legal. And I thought, well, I'll check it out. And I saw the requirements for program. I said, wow, that's a commitment. I'm a little older. I have 2 grandkids living near me. I'm just not looking to work that hard on top of what I'm
Right.
doing now. If I was, if I was starting out 6 years ago, I went into probate because I found a great program and a great coach and teacher, and it made sense. I would look at this very carefully as an alternative if I was making a decision. And I appreciate interviewing you today to share you with my colleagues to say, this is something worth looking at. If you're looking for some more complete answers to how do I be better, not just get more business, but be better, earn more business, I think the Eliminate Institute program, the CDRE program are definitely worth your attention. So, Laurel, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And
Thank you.
thanks for a call today. And if ever I can help something, please let me know.
Absolutely. And I'm glad to know you're here in Southern California. Thank you for the work that you're doing in the probate space.